everybody, welcome to Sula, Montana at the Lost Trail Ski Area, where we are just about to kick off the 2019 Rocky Mountain States Hillclimb Association race. I am Kenny Eggleston, I am the RMSHA announcer, and this is Cody Bonney, professional RMSHA snowmobile racer. And Cody, you got some hardware there. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a couple months ago I actually ended up breaking my femur up in Canada. So put me out for this season, but I'll be back next season.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are glad to have you commentating this with us, giving us a professional look at the races that are going to be going on. That being said, have you had a chance to look at the course?
I looked at it a little bit, watched it yesterday. It's going to be a fun one. There's going to be some deep trenches. It's going to be good.
And that's kind of the thing with Lost Trail. It is home of the trenches. Always a lot of snow up here. We've been back here for this our third year, and we got some big names up here too, though, that kind of seem to be able to navigate that stuff. Who do you think we should be keeping our eye on this week?
Well, definitely Keith Curtis. He's pretty much a local. Dillon, Montana, not very far away. Sam Peterson is a new up-and-comer from just over the hill in Jackson, Montana. Same with Toby Shepard. Those are locals. Riley Sprunger. We also have Blaine Matthews back with us this year racing. He was injured last year. We've got Jay Manaberry. We've got Aaron Sturck now on a Skidoo.
Yeah.
He is really rallying those.
Absolutely, cash or crash.
Yep, and just a lot of up-and-comers this year.
All right, well, let's take a look at some highlights. All right, here are the highlights from our Pro 600 stock class, and here he is, racer number 98, Sam Peterson, Wisdom, Montana. He rides Polaris, ranch kid, just killed it last year in the semi-pros. First year as a pro, already got some wins under his belt, and just looking incredible this year. He's got a very bright future ahead of him.
Sam is running really good this year. I mean, even riding the backcountry with him, he has improved so much since last year. It's unreal, and he's already making a name in the pro classes.
Getting over that gate 4 right here, going to see a split time come up. Looks like he is just really moving quick. And 18:45 split there. And now this is that technical part of the course.
So yeah, this is where it starts to get deep. All the trenches start showing up here. Everybody's chewing down, getting stuck, and it makes it technical. They're crossing over yesterday's tracks, and those are frozen this early in the morning right now, so it's all frozen, rock hard. And here he comes, starting at the base of the hill here.
So you can see that big trench right there. He drops almost out of sight. Wow.
It looks a little wild ride there.
Yeah.
Still moving. Come on, Sam.
Coming up and over right there.
101.19.
That is blazing fast for a seasoned rider right there.
That is.
Second, Sam Peterson out in front.
And our next racer up, we like to call him Captain America, racer number 62, Brandon Tittenser out of Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris. He's kind of the little guy is what he claims himself, as far as he doesn't have the weight, he doesn't have the strength. He'll ride smaller sleds in bigger classes, and he actually does extremely well with it. And talk about improving. He's spent a lot of time working out this year. You can see the strength in him, just really looking good. And part of the Climb Back Country team as well, which is no small feat.
He is, yeah. That's quite the accomplishment right there.
But making good time over that first big jump.
All right, here we go, Brandon Tittenser.
He's been riding good this year.
Yeah, he's quite the personality as well, but man, he can back it up. And again, just not one to let the things that most people might consider a disadvantage get him down. Just really powering up through there, making good time.
Oh, and he really hangs it out there a lot too. He's been riding a lot with Luke Rainey, and they practice together, and you can see the similarities in their riding.
And there it is, 101.57. Holy cow. Making short work of the hill here at Lost Trail. And there he is. Keith Curtis, this is the second race of the season so far in Afton. He won the Triple Crown, meaning he was your stock, improved, and modified king. Just from watching him this year, I haven't seen anything that you could consider a mistake. If it looks like it, it's almost like he meant for it to happen. This guy is just a force to be reckoned with.
He is absolutely flawless when he rides. So precise and just so darn quick.
Now, when you're coming up the hill, how far ahead are you looking as you're watching these guys go up? What in feet? Is it 10 feet? Is it 20 feet? Are you looking at?
You're trying to look as far ahead as you can, trying to know where you're going to be, because by the time, if you're only looking 10 feet, by the time you see something, you're already going to be going over it. And if you look at an obstacle, you're going to hit it. And Keith knows, he walks the hill, knows exactly where he wants his sled to be, and he puts it exactly there. And it's truly incredible watching him ride.
It is blink and you miss it. So here he goes. He's looking like he's going to be a little quicker. Yep.
57, 56.
Getting it down in the double digits, 5.7, 5.6. That is your 600 stock class highlights. Now there is your leaderboard. So this is how things wound up in the Pro 600 stock. You got Keith Curtis, Sam Peterson, Brandon Tittenser, Les Keller, and Tanner Myers. Now let's go to the 600 mod highlights. Modified, boosted, snowmobiles going up. We're going to run the power up, and here is racer number 322 out of Battleground, Washington, riding Arctic, multiple world championships under his belt, and going to see what a cat can do on the hill here at Lost Trail.
Well, if anybody can take a cat up, it's definitely one of the Tapios. They're incredible racers, and they make quite the journey over to every race coming from Washington.
They do. They put a lot of miles in. And now I'm looking here too, the conditions on the course have changed. Your lighting, obviously the temperature, the snow conditions have changed a little bit. How much of an effect is that going to have? Is this going to turn into more of a driver's course, or is the horsepower actually going to be a benefit?
Well, the horsepower is definitely going to be a benefit. It helps you to get over all the obstacles, but it's not going to be quite as rock hard right now. Starting to soften up, starting to get a little bit warmer. Makes the corners blow out a little bit more, and then these sleds start chewing down through the course, and that's when you start getting all the trenches to show up.
All right, making his way up and
Very
over.
good turns
wow.
right there.
Hard to imagine how much backcountry riding these guys get in with the amount of time they spend on the road getting to these races all the way over there on the West Coast, and we're mostly in Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. 58.52, blazing fast time for Russ Tapio. Oh man, and then this guy, racer number 104, Andy Thomas out of Athens, Wyoming. He is another amazing athlete that he's always been good, but he has no back out of it or anything. But now the spectacular crashes are slowing down a lot, and his times are going faster and faster, but he just gives it everything he's got every time he gets to the bottom of the hill.
Andy is one heck of a racer. You can tell with all the fitness that he does and everything he puts into it, he is really starting to shine. And last year, Jackson Hole, he was 600 mod and had some awesome king runs, and he is one fast racer.
Looking good on the Polaris. I was looking on his social media the other day, and he actually called that a weapon.
Really?
Really excited about the new models of Polaris that you guys have been outfitted with, and I'll tell you, he gets along real good with them.
Well, all these new sleds are getting so amazing. The technology behind them changes so fast.
Excellent, and there is 59.19 for Andy Thomas. It's going to be interesting with these modifieds to start looking at that split time just a little bit closer. Here's number 2, Tanner Myers, Soda Springs, Idaho. I believe this is his second year in the pros, tore it up, got some world titles in the semi-pros, and he is doing really good this year too.
Boy, Tanner can really throw some awesome runs out there.
I always kind of joke about him. He seems to be, when he draws a little bit deeper in the pack after he's been able to see what he's got to beat and he gets that in his head, he really finishes strong. It's pretty impressive to see him at the lower part of the class. So he's at the 18:35 at the split there, gate number 6. Laying down a good time.
Let's see how he cranks it out up here.
Wow. Coming out of nowhere
Just
there.
flying.
Now he's going to move through those trenches.
Just hopping that over, and you can already see the sled's about half disappeared through that trench. And
yeah.
Right there, that was probably a good 4 or 5 feet deep.
At least. All right, there he is, Tanner Myers.
Just flying.
Wow, 57-51. And that is your 600 modified highlights. And this is how things shook out with that. Tanner Myers in first place, Russ Tapio in second, Andy Thomas in third, Toby Shepard, and Jonathan Dermis. We are going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Every year, Team Rubicon enlists the help of veterans to provide relief to communities affected by natural disasters. Do it for those who need your help. Mountain Dew is proud to support the efforts of Team Rubicon. Let's do. Every year, Team Rubicon enlists the help of veterans to provide relief to communities affected by natural disasters. Do it for those who need your help. Mountain Dew is proud to support the efforts of Team Rubicon. Let's do.
Welcome back. We are going to go with 600 improved now racer number 222, Jonathan Dermis out of Whitewater, Colorado. Second generation racer. His dad kind of legendary in the sport of hill climbing. Several world championships in the family. Jonathan, another outstanding athlete, relatively new to the pro classes, just I think also his second season, and he is looking really good this year.
Jonathan can really throw some runs together. I think he switched to pro halfway through last year, and this will be his first full year pro, and he's really doing good.
We've seen some really good times with that 18-second split so far today, so that will be interesting to see how that plays out. As the course becomes a little bit more technical, gets a little bit more trenched up. A little bit of a redirect there. Had to back out, but he's got it moving again.
And you can hear that sled, it just sounds like it rips.
Got access to some really good parts and really good mechanics, and not to mention the knowledge.
Had a little bobble there, and see how that affects him on his time.
Still just unbelievable how you guys are able to get off and back on. And 104.75 going to be the time for Jonathan Dermis. We'll see how that shakes out.
So far, he's first.
That's a good place to be. As we get ready to go with racer number 89, Seth Wilson out of Santa Quin, Utah, riding a Polaris. He's been racing in the pros third season in the pros. Good guy, riding Polaris. Still looking for his mark a little bit, but I'll tell you what, you are never going to meet anybody with a better attitude about racing than this guy right here.
Oh no, Seth is an awesome guy. And just like you said, the most positive attitude.
Looks pretty good. Looks like it's going to pay off for him here. Up over gate 3, and the split going to be at 19, just a little bit slower than Jonathan, but if he can handle that technical part, maybe...
Seth's a good technical rider. Let's see what he can do coming up this.
Can really see his mind start working and how he reacts to the course.
Seth Wilson, Utah racer, making his way up. Getting into the tough parts up here in just a little bit. Finally,
looking pretty good.
In the pro lane.
Starting to get really deep in that spot.
You can see all the ruts and bumps in there.
Wherever you are.
And there really isn't another route other than right up that trench.
That's pretty much where they're going to have to go, and you saw where it kind of held up Jonathan. Seth got through it a little bit smoother, and it's going to be 105.60 for Seth Wilson. Next racer up is racer number 192, Tavern Rupp out of Tremont in Utah. Good to see him back. His hit and miss a little bit last year, but he's showed up at every race so far, doing well himself. Tree Mountain racer. His dad's been involved in this sport quite a bit, another second generation racer, and I like Tavern, same kind of thing. Always got a smile on his face and laying down some pretty good times this year.
Yeah, Tavern's been doing pretty good as well. He was on the injured list for a little bit, kind of common in this sport, but he's doing really good. It's fun to have him back racing.
It looks like visibility is getting to be a little bit at a premium down there. He's at 1925 on the split, so again, a little slower in that bottom section.
Pretty close to Seth's time. Let's see how he does along his top section.
For McRae on the hill right now, racer number 650, Hunter Hayden. He will be followed by Jaden Marshall.
You can definitely tell he is in it to win it. He's got her pinned.
He's going for it. Bouncing up through that. Let's see how he wraps this one out.
That is that really tough part where they're almost running into a little bit of a wall as they try to cross that trench from yesterday's qualifying. And up and over with 104.58. Fitting in there pretty good. They're pretty snug. Nothing outstanding as of yet. Here we go with racer number 706. This kid is just a little bit on the crazy side. I love him to death. It's from Moxie, Washington, riding Articat. Brock Sharp is definitely an athlete. Got a lot of power, catching a lot of air right there on that jump. And he is just drilled down. He's been laying some great times. Also another second generation racer from the famous Sharp Brothers Racing.
See, he's fun to watch. He's racing a different style of snowmobile. This one's shorter, not really designed for this, but he makes it work, and he sends that.
And you can see that split right there, almost 2 seconds faster.
All right, real quick on.
So here he comes up. Wow. Yeah, he's moving.
Blake got those all fixed. Oh yeah, just go ahead and bring him in here. So if you got a trophy with
See,
the
it
plate on it,
takes a lot more to ride one of those sleds up this course than the mountain sleds, and he does a very good job at it.
Overall, less traction, I guess.
Less traction and
length of the track, and
yeah, and when you get in those big trenches like that, you know, you can't get down as far.
that is incredible.
And he is just flying up that.
Doesn't seem to be bothering him a bit, does it? 59.67. That is your new leader there, I believe. And here we go with racer number 78, Jaden Cook, Ogden, Utah, riding the Polaris. I've had a lot of fun watching him. Ton of natural talent. Same kind of thing, though. He has no halfway. He has no little bit. He goes for it all the way every single time. Sometimes it pays off big time. Sometimes it winds up in a little bit of a yard sale, but another one with a good attitude and never backs out.
Well, these pro classes, this is his first year pro, and you got to give it your all because there are so many good racers out there.
Split there at 18.48. Let's see how this pays off.
Austin Rogers in the semi-pro.
Coming up over that steep part of the course.
When after racing this, the hill doesn't even look as steep as it really is in person.
That's one of those situations that I've actually hiked up on the hills a couple times after I've been watching it at the bottom, and I am just amazed. You'll see sometimes when the hill help goes to dive in and you can't even vertically stand up on these slopes. So yeah, it is a little deceiving. 101.30, I think that's good enough for second place for Jaden Cook, Ogden, Utah. And here we go with racer number 107, Danny Johnson out of Camas, Utah. That bunch out of Camas, Utah, riding skidoos, I'll tell you what, they are just a fun bunch to be around. Danny, an incredible athlete, taking a lot of time helping coach the Rogerses and a lot of the other racers that are involved with the skidoo team.
Looks like he's got a pretty good start going here.
He's going to be followed by Les Keller and Jordan State.
Oh, man. Taking advantage of a little air time up there.
See, the key is to try and not get too much. Try and get back down on the snow and start going as fast as you can. And
sounds like we
can't help sometimes if you guys don't want to just get a little bit more altitude for the thrill of it all. But exactly, it's all about the speed. And if your track isn't on the snow, you're not making speed. Uh-oh.
We got a little wide over there. Let's see.
Oh boy, and then
There's that old trench that he just hit. You can see him.
That is going to be an interesting dynamic as the day goes on in these classes. And there's Danny Johnson with 1:03.32, good enough for 4th place right now. And racer number 147, Les Keller out of Kalispell, Montana, riding Polaris. He's having a good season, but he's been racing for almost 20 years, from what I understand.
Almost 20 years. He's been at it a long time. He used to race snowcross and then got into the hill climbing, and he has been phenomenal to watch the last couple of years. He has really stepped it up, and he's getting smooth.
Wow, yeah, he's laying down a good time right there at the split.
Talk about just another awesome racer. He's got his wife and his baby watching and supporting him, and he makes it look easy.
He really does. He's able to get a little tighter in on that corner.
Almost not affected by that trench.
Oh, found a way to get through that one as well.
Oh, wow.
And 2nd place for Les Keller with 1:00.80. Racer number 57, Jordan Stank, coming from Muskego, Wisconsin. Let me try that again. Muskego, Wisconsin. Really great to have these guys from back east come out and run, and we tease them a little bit, call them flatlanders because they don't have the terrain that we have. Obviously, that's why they come out here and ride with us, but they definitely do a lot of snowmobiling out there, and it shows up. These guys can really ride.
5'7" Jordan Stank, Muskego, Wisconsin, riding Polaris. He'll be followed by Brandon Tittenser and Hunter Johnson.
Like a 20-48 split, so a little bit slower down there, so he's going to have to make up some time up here on the technical spots.
Let's see what he can do on this.
Charge through that okay. This trench is starting to make me nervous.
9.
It's getting deeper and deeper with every pass. You see less and less racer every time they go through it, and here's that real tricky one.
Oh, he made it through that pretty good.
Still on the hill.
We're not going to be able to give him too much grief about being a flatlander
now.
now.
Yeah, I think they use it as fuel and start taking a bunch of trophies and money back east. All right, good enough for 8th place with 1:10.24. Great ride, but here we go once again with Captain America, Brandon Tittenser out of Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris.
When Brandon can really throw some runs together, I'm excited to see what he does here. He's just flying in that lower section.
He spends very little time with his feet on the snowmobile, I've noticed.
I think he's picking that up from Luke Rainey.
Yep, wouldn't be a bit surprised.
17:68 split time, so
very good.
Not bad at all.
Coming around the mountain. There's that trench. Oh, I was worried about that, but look at the hustle. So
just not quite enough to get it back. That just cost him a lot of time right there.
With more runs to go, definitely wants to gather it back up and keep going on the course. And there it is, just using everything he can to get up and over. 1:08.60, good enough for 7th place right now for Brandon Tittenser. Here we go now with racer number 275, Hunter Johnson out of Jackson, Wyoming. First year in the pros, doing good, riding Skidoo.
Now he's been riding a lot with Tanner Myers lately, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Got 2 different manufacturers. They hang out quite a bit and spend a lot of time on the mountain. Hunter's looking good, really did good last year in the semi-pro.
In the red lane, race number 27.
Well, all these new pro racers this year, they're going to be putting hurting on the rest of them.
Riding Skidoo.
They
Followed by
definitely,
Nolan
youth is
Phelps,
paying off in
Peterson,
the pro classes.
wrapping up the
There's
class.
a lot of you guys that are just a little bit older are looking in your rearview mirror at them, but maybe not for long. All right, there goes Hunter. Coming up on that gate 11 trench that's starting to form up there. See if he can get through that.
Well, it doesn't seem to bother him too much there.
Nope. Going a little wide and setting up for this next one. Got through that one pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
And Hunter is up and over with 103.33, good enough for 5th place.
103.33.
Here we go with racer number 169, Dolan Phelps, Fish Haven, Idaho. This guy is an incredible athlete. Got to move up into some other classes this year as well. Reached the ripe old age of 40. So, but still, really tough contender in the pro classes.
Oh, definitely. And talk about a tough guy. You remember the wreck he had last year in Jackson.
Yeah.
And then back racing the next weekend.
I think it lacerated spleen, and I'm pretty sure the doctors told him not to have anything to do with the snowmobile, but no, he came back and raced. Wasn't walking real great, but he raced real
Garrett
good.
Hoops coming in with 117.41, 117.41 for Garrett Hoops. Up next, race number 730, Casey Jones, Smooth, Wyoming, riding Skidoo. He'll be followed
I
by
believe his son's going to be racing next year.
Yeah, his son actually has a world title of his own with the 120 races, the mini snowmobiles,
no.
the World Championship Hill Climb.
Got bogged down there a little bit, but still moving along.
Right now in the pro lane.
It's all it takes is one little thing like that, and it could put you out of the money.
Dolan doing pretty good on the rest of it, though, trying to gather up as much as he can. Gonna drop him to 9th place with 105.70 for Dolan Phelps, 105.70. Racer number 98, Sam Peterson, Wisdom, Montana again. Here comes the athlete.
Well, I got to cheer on Sam because he's one of my teammates, so we'll see how well he does.
Absolutely.
This is another young racer talking about age.
Got a pretty dang awesome personality on top of all that. And this, for all intent and purposes, is as much as close to a hometown race as he's going to get.
Yeah, this is just over the hill from their family ranch. So you can't beat that.
Nope.
It's the only race we have in Montana right now. Makes traveling nice. Coming up here through here pretty quick. Let's see how these trenches hold up.
Almost like he tried to get on the side of that one a little bit. I don't know if that's what he's trying to do or if that's where he got thrown, but it's working out good for him.
Moving along there.
Wow. All right, there he is, Sam Peterson up and over. He is going to be your winner with 59.02. There's your leaderboard. Sam Peterson in first, Brock Sharp second, Les Keller third place, Jaden Cook in fourth, Danny Johnson in fifth. That is going to wrap up 600 improved, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Lost Trail Powder Mountain Ski Area in Sula, Montana. We're going to give you our class highlights from the 900 classes, starting with 900 Improved. And first up, we've got racer number 711, Keith Curtis, Dillon, Montana, riding Polaris. This is pretty much his hometown race as well.
Yeah, this is the closest race for him. And this year he's running an improver. And he did good at the first race in Afton. We'll see.
You just see how he seems to be at one with his snowmobile at all times. It is incredible.
It's just an extension of his body.
It really is super fluid.
He makes this stuff look too darn easy, I'll tell you that.
And interesting, when you're talking about those jumps, you see it pretty much staying in contact with the ground at all times, getting the front end up, but still able to put the power to the ground pretty much consistently through the course.
Just flying up that section.
Getting into that trench right there, no problem. Incredible run, Keith Curtis.
Wow.
Up and over with 51.97. Next racer up, this is one of the guys that held him off in the mod class last year. Racer number 112, Justin Thomas, Idaho Falls, Idaho. He is your reigning King of Kings. He is an X Games silver medalist, also voted Racer of the Year in 2015 by the Rocky Mountain States Hillclimb Association. There is a lot of talent under his helmet.
He has been running really good. Last year it was pretty incredible watching the King of Kings at Jackson Hole, and it'll be interesting to see how these two do against each other this year.
Getting a lot of air there, also looking just so incredibly fluid and smooth on the course.
Now Justin's one of these guys that can crank out one heck of a run when the pressure's on.
It is doing good there. That gate number 11 starts to be where you need to make those really good decisions. Didn't slow him down much, but kind of
bounced a little bit there. And just those bounces can cost you tenths of a second.
As it did right there, an incredible run, but still only good enough for second place, 53.81 for Justin Thomas. Great racer. And here's racer number 318, Kyle Tapio, Battleground, Washington, riding an Articat. If memory serves, he is the only one that has ever won back-to-back King of Kings titles. So once again, these Tapio brothers are incredible. Got the third generation of Tapio racers now starting to show up in our amateur classes and semi-pro classes, so it'll be exciting to see how they do.
That is pretty cool, seeing the whole family into it. And Tapio's sleds always run phenomenal.
Incredible. Very humble people.
I was just going to say that. Just like a lot of the racers, they're probably some of the most humble people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, absolutely. Never showboat.
Oh, he's taking a different line there, getting out of the trench.
Wow.
That could be our new fast line.
It takes a lot of confidence to try to bust through and go off the beaten trail there. 56.90, good enough for third place. And that is your highlights from 900 Improved. And that's how things shook out. Keith Curtis, Justin Thomas, Kyle Tapio, Sam Peterson,
Eben Abshire.
All right, let's go see what happened in 900 Modified, starting with racer number 230, the one and only Spanky, Blaine Matthews out of Pinedale, Wyoming, riding Skidoo. Had to sit this race out last year. Actually was sitting in your seat, Cody, and did the commentary with us here, but he is back in the saddle and looking really good this year.
Boy, he's fun to watch, too.
Well, speaking of saddle, in the summertime, he is an incredible saddle bronc rider, too, so likes all kinds of sports that have good potential of causing serious bodily injury.
Yeah, at least these snowmobiles have a kill switch.
All right, here we go. Blaine Matthews again. Oh,
Getting a
yeah.
little stylish there.
Throwing some style points at it. 1685. Really good split time there for Spanky. Just love watching him ride. He's able to anticipate so much. As we talk about reading the course, that just seems to be his mind responds so quickly to what's up ahead.
That was a quick turn.
See now, that would have tripped up so many racers right there, and he just figured out how to angle his body to make it work. New leader right there, it's Spanky, 55-37. And here we go, racer number 711, Keith Curtis, Dylan, Montana once again. Gonna see what he can get done in 900 modified.
Boy, and he really cranks it up when he's down in the pack.
1691 on the split, so second fastest on the split. So we'll see what he can do in the technical part, which tends to be
staying
his.
out of it, staying out of the trench there, and
Be interesting to see if he does
yeah.
what Kyle tried to do earlier and take a little different line.
No, he goes
Right in it.
right on the edge of it. Keith's known for finding some smooth lines that nobody ever sees,
Absolutely, and there again, just totally responds to that launch. And up and over with 53-51.
too. 53, 51, that was smoking.
Good enough. He is your new leader with that time.
This will be a fun one to watch.
Always is. Racer number 285, Aaron Sturck out of Pinedale, Wyoming. Like to call him Cash or Crash. He's done his share of both of them.
Boy, and there are some spectacular runs either way.
Absolutely. And again, switching brands this year, went from Polaris to Skidoo, and
You know, I think the Skidoo fits him pretty well.
it really does. I think he and Skidoo are pretty happy about that. He's a great racer to have representing your brand, and just an animal.
That's amazing watching him get up after some of those crashes and go race the next class like nothing happened.
He's just another one of those racers that can power through a lot of those obstacles that you see so many people get tripped up by or thrown from their sled or whatever, and he just responds to it really well, just like
Hanging
that
it
right
out there.
there, hanging it. Incredible rider. And pulling it up and over, and Aaron Sturck with 57-11. This is how things shook out in 900 Pro Mod. Keith Curtis, second place, Blaine Matthews, third, Aaron Sturck, fourth, Justin Thomas, and fifth, Brock Sharp. We'll be right back.
Did you know you can have North America's most trusted snowmobile voice at your fingertips wherever you go? Digital subscriptions are available from a variety of sources for your tablet or smartphone. It includes 6 issues of American Snowmobiler for just $14.95, or combine it with your print subscription for just another $1 per issue. Visit amsnow.com for more details. And while you're there, don't forget to register as a website user and sign up for our e-newsletter.
Welcome back once again to the Lost Trail Powder Mountain Hillclimb, the Rocky Mountain States Hillclimb Association. We are going to go right into Pro 900 stock. Up first, racer number 104, Andy Thomas out of Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris.
Now this is the class you want to watch. There's a lot of people racing this class, and there's a lot of money in it. This is the one the brands have representing their new products.
And a lot of new products fitting into this class as well. Seems to be a lot of focus on these bigger horsepower sleds that you can buy almost just like these right off the showroom floor. And so this is a kind of a great showcase for it. And
you can see the couple racers back there running off the hill. They're getting their last look at it before they run. And Andy's first up on the class, and he's going to be setting a time, I bet. It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I set the bar high quick already. Anything under 18, it looks like, on that split time, as long as things go smooth on the top end of the course, seems to be making a real difference.
Oh, he didn't quite drop into that trench. That was quick.
Let's see, this is another little issue, but looked at kind of a different way going through it, and it seemed to work out good for him.
Hanging out there for that last turn, and
Up and over.
first place so far.
55.98. That's quite a bar set there. Anything in those double digits. Here we go now with racer 318, Kyle Tapio again, Battleground, Washington, riding Articat. These guys are just so tough.
This is probably one of the hardest classes to race. There's so many good racers in this class.
All right, Andy Thomas with 55,
Kyle, true to form.
55.98 for Andy Thomas. 55.98.
There he is, coming around the mountain.
Thomas, Kyle Tapio on the hill.
And got that split time just over 18.
24, 118, 2,
These guys, like I say, several world titles between him and his brother, and no stranger to the winner's circle, that is for sure.
Both of these guys are two guys that are they just look smooth the whole way up and make it look way too easy.
On the hill, Kyle Tapio.
He got through those tough parts real easy.
You can see the other racers there sitting there watching, looking at all the obstacles.
57.82, good enough for second place for Kyle Tapio as it stands right now. And here we go once again, Hunter Johnson, racer number 275, Jackson, Wyoming, riding Skidoo.
Jumping right into the tough class and the pro classes.
And that is quite a feat to make that move up and ride against these names that he's been watching for so many years. They're in his hometown of Jackson, Wyoming at the World Championship.
Just qualifying in these classes is quite the feat in itself.
Absolutely, and being able to make it to finals day, you had to go through a lot of people, and Hunter doing good, just over 18 on that, just shy of 19 actually on the split, so third fastest of the three. So he's going to need to make a little bit of time on the top end of this course. As he gets ready to go into that section there at gate 11.
Let's see what he does here. Right up the center of the trench. Trying to hang it out there on that one. Oh, a little slow there. He got a little high-sided there.
Yeah. Gonna cost him a little bit.
I tell you what, these classes, there's no room for that.
For sure. And third right now for Hunter Johnson with 105.95.
Up next, racer number 22.
And then this, son of a legend, number 22, Toby Shepard, out of Jackson, Montana, and riding Polaris, representing his dad and part of your race team.
Yeah, he put together our race team, Shepard Racing, and very, very close, good friend, and one heck of a rider. Last year he was out for the season due to an ACL injury and wasn't quite strong enough to compete at the level he wanted to compete at, and back at it this year, charging hard.
It shows, you can definitely tell it's in his blood. Got the split time there, fastest split so far. This just might be his class.
Boy, and Toby really shines in the technical stuff.
Ashland Wood, 122.71. JD and Pfaff on the hill. Toby Shepard in the pro lane on your screen.
It's been interesting to watch. There is definitely more than one fast way to get through that trench right now, but that's
going to cost
not
him.
one of them. Yeah,
Gonna have to beat
I jinxed it saying how well he shines.
I'll tell you,
gonna be the fastest
you never know.
so far in the pro lane.
But
Andy Thomas in
also only the second race back after being out for an entire season. A little bit of that probably to be expected, but good enough for third place still, even with the bobble. So 1:02.47 for Toby Shepard.
4.
And here comes Spanky once again, racer 230 out of Pinedale on a Skidoo. Just so much fun to watch him, how comfortable he is.
I have a feeling this one's going to be a fast run.
Yeah, definitely got fire in his eyes. He is not holding back at all.
You
can see when he landed, it was just wide open.
Split at 17:21, new fastest split, so he's got the bottom side taken care of.
He is charging hard.
We've already seen him do really well in that technical portion, so might be your new leader here. We'll watch and find out.
Kimberly, Idaho, riding Skidoo. Again, we got these awesome trophies right out in front of the trailer here.
And he stayed out of that trench riding right on that
Pretty
spine.
much all together. That is amazing.
Pretty smooth run so far.
That one's going to be followed by Wyatt Mackey and Jackson Rogers Spanky on the hit.
And there you have it, your new leader, 53.71 for Blaine Matthews, 5.371. Oh, he's so fun to watch.
Luke's going to be another good one to watch.
Oh boy, you better hold on right now. Racer number 303, Luke Rainey, Thane, Wyoming, 5-time world champion right here. And also part of the climb backcountry team. Just amazing. Another one of those guys that really almost effortless in the way that he rides. It just completely at one.
I don't think I've seen anybody hang it out as far as he hangs it out on some of these corners.
Bodyworks, Bitterroot Brewing, Jerry Wessels.
You see that with his traveling slash riding teammate Brandon Tittenser. You see Brandon start doing just like you said. This is pretty much where he learned it. Third on the split was 17:41, but still just blazing fast.
Midway Rental, Quality Construction, Florence Therapy, R&S Painting. Those are the ones.
And once again, he's another one of those racers that just really shines in this technical part. He's able to read the course.
Luke Rainey charging the hill.
See what he does on that trench. See if he goes on the spine like Spanky did, or if he's going to go down in it.
Looks like he kind of went down in it.
Yep.
A little bit on the spine. Pretty effortless so far.
In the blue lane, Dallin Ruffing on the hill. And Luke
Hanging on the back of that, second place with 54.70 as it stands right now. But then you got this guy coming up behind you. He could really be a game changer. Racer number 711, Keith Curtis, once again taking a shot at the 900 stock class.
He is really going to have to get after him to beat his buddy Spanky.
Let's see if he can beat Spanky on this one or not.
Followed by Jay Menaberry and Tanner Myers.
It is always a battle, and again last year, both Luke and Justin was able to hold him off in the mod classes, so
I think that just fueled him up for this year.
That's kind of what it does.
We saw that at Afton at the last race. And
for sure. And he's your fastest on the split time. Got both speed and accuracy. So let's see what we can do, but you never know what is going to happen in those trenches, and no matter what, going off the beaten path, I have to think is a risk.
Oh, it can be.
And
he knows how to calculate that risk, but it's always a gamble.
Wow.
Just hanging it and wide open.
51-22, new leader right there, Keith Curtis on Polaris. All right, here we go. Racer number 411, Jay Menaberry, Alpine, Wyoming, riding Skidoo. This is another one of those fast racers that is just a little, we call him Mental Berry. He's Spanky's teammate and traveling partner as well, and he just does not know when to back out, and it usually pays off for him.
Most of the time it does. He's definitely one to watch.
But we've also seen him scatter some parts here and there.
You put those two together, and that's quite the pair.
Just goes to show you how much skill we've have on the mountain right now, because almost all of these split times have been under that 18-second, which is kind of seemed to be the benchmark, and even people getting good runs there. You get this kind of skill with Spanky, with Luke Rainey, with Keith Curtis, and Menaberry.
Oh, he went high on that one. That worked out pretty well there.
Jackson Rogers will be up.
This could be a quick
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Hard to tell from this angle, but it almost seemed like he just shot a little too high up there and wasn't quite able to bring it under control and stay on the
You
path
see he
there.
knocked the snow right off that tree, so he
Yeah.
must have just clipped that, or hard to tell from this angle.
Now that being said,
And here you can see some of the fellow racers coming in to help him out, get him out of the trench, and
yeah,
roll that out of there.
that is the thing. It's a great time to point out a little bit of education on this. The second that he'll help, or anybody comes in to help and puts their hands on that snowmobile, if it's still running, then that is the high mark, and that's going to be a high mark of 12.95 for Jay Menaberry.
That's a shame. He had a good run going,
Really did.
but that happens.
He's going to go ahead and get a look at the rest of the course. We go back to racer number 2, Tanner Myers out of Soda Springs, Idaho. New in the pros and really making a name for himself. Been fun to watch a lot of these come up through the ranks, and guy's got a lot of skill. And like I said earlier too, just the more under pressure he is, the more he really seems to shine.
I've seen him just pull some crazy lines on the course.
On the speed part of the course right now.
You gotta sit back and think he is nuts.
It's all about being technical.
And again, several world titles in the semi-pro, and it'd be fun to see if he can get one locked down in the pros this year. Didn't seem to have hardly any trouble on that trench in gate 11.
A little slow out of that corner, but it doesn't seem to affect him too much.
Yeah, Tanner Myers.
Now that's it, 57.49, still in double digits, but only good enough for 5th place. That gives you a little bit of an idea of what kind of skill and talent we're dealing with here.
And we still have a lot more to go.
Now this guy, I have been having a lot of fun watching him. Racer number 185, Cameron Lindsay out of Wellsville, Utah. Teased with his dad a lot, but there's just a lot of natural skill with him. Watched him come up over the last 3 years through the semi-pro, and he's got a few little things to figure out, but it is all coming together with each run, and wouldn't be a bit surprised if we're not looking at a future world champion within the next couple seasons.
I wouldn't doubt it either. Even though he's on an Arctic Cat, I wouldn't doubt he's going to be up there.
Yeah, I understand you're a little biased, but there again, that split time again, less than 18 seconds with these little bit bigger snowmobiles, and snow conditions good enough anyway. It's kind of hard right now where it's a little bit cooler, but they are able to get that traction and hook into that stuff. So Cameron Lindsay
Coming up through here. Boy, that snow does change a lot. This morning we started out with 16 below, and now we're getting up almost above freezing.
Yeah,
Pretty much sideways right there. Cameron
major effect.
That was a good run.
Wow, 57.19. Now he's your 5th place with blazing fast times on that course as we get ready to go with one of my favorites, and I know he's one of yours, racer number 515, Riley Sprunger out of Butte, Montana, riding Polaris. Actually started preseason with Keith Curtis in Russia, showing the Russians how we do it here in the U.S.
Yeah, quite the privilege he had there, being able to go over and ride in another country, and he's really improved in the last couple of years. He's been training with Keith, and used to be a fellow teammate with us, but had quite the opportunity there, and don't blame him for taking it one bit. He is going to be one to watch. Already is one to watch.
Yeah, and just an amazing gentleman as well. I just really like.
And this is close to a hometown race for him as well,
Yeah,
only an
for
hour and a
sure.
half away.
Yeah,
It's close for us Montana guys. Flawless through that.
wow.
Yeah,
There we go.
line a little
57.43, good enough for 6th place. They are just super fast in this class.
They're within hundredths of a second of each other.
And here we go again, Aaron Sturk out of Pinedale, Wyoming. Cash or crash, riding skidoo, riding well.
I'm curious to see what his split time is going to be.
17.91.
A little
Again,
bit slower, but he can make it up.
Absolutely. Been trying to put a finger on how to describe his riding style, and all I can come up with is point and shoot. Picks a direction and just keeps it pinned, and
Yeah, I don't know if he knows how to let out of the throttle much.
I don't think so.
All right, here we
Coming
go.
together pretty good.
There we go. Wow, 56.54, still only 5th place, and that is going to finish up our 900 Pro Stock. Keith Curtis in front, then Blaine Matthews, Luke Rainey, Andy Thomas, and Aaron Sturk. We'll be right back. Welcome back once again to Lost Trail Powder Mountain Ski Area with the Rocky Mountain States Hillclimb Association. Here are your Pro 700 class highlights, starting with 700 modified. Start off with, once again, racer number 22, Toby Shepard out of Jackson, Montana, riding Polaris, back after sitting out an entire season.
And coming back, entering 4 mod classes to top it off.
Takes a lot on your body, but if there's anybody that can get in shape for it, it's probably this guy right here.
He is very dedicated. And he loves these mod sleds.
By the looks of it so far, they love him as well. Just ripping up through there. And when we talk about a mod sled, of course, we're talking boosted in some fashion, whether it be turbocharged or supercharged. Split time at 18:08, starting us off.
22, should be 22. Yeah, Toby Shepard headed up the hill right now out of Jackson.
There we go.
Going good.
He'll be followed by Aaron Buchelman.
Now this course is getting pretty rough here. You can see all the bumps in it. These mod sleds do have the aftermarket suspension in, which helps out, but these courses get awfully rough. You can see how deep that's getting. He just about disappeared in there. Moving along pretty good.
It's looking like he got on the top side of the finish line trench there, so currently in the lead, starting us off with 58.16, Toby Shepard out in front.
58-16.
And here comes racer number 13X, Aaron Buchelman, Caldwell, Idaho, riding Polaris. This is another force in this sport. Just an incredible racer.
He is. Now Aaron's racing injured right now. And it doesn't seem to affect him too much, but he is one smooth racer. Phenomenal to watch him ride.
Esteem
Sled's always run flawless.
for Aaron
Got a little nose heavy off that one.
Ooh, split there 17-11. That's
He's quick.
pretty quick. Coming around the bend there, looking really good.
Go getting a high mark of 11.8, 11.8 for Colby. Up next, racer number 509, Austin Rogers Francis.
Yeah.
Just chewing right through that
Followed
trench.
by Tiffany McWilliams, Tanner Thomas. Gonna wrap
Oh.
up
A little
the
bit of a
class.
bobble there, but
Didn't seem to phase him too bad. You can see the power just standing those things up.
incredible. 55-67, new leader right there with Aaron Buchelman. And racer number 104, Andy Thomas, Afton, Wyoming. Better hold on. This could be a game changer.
This one could be quick. He's fun to watch in the 6-7 mod classes.
Just so much focus. And again, the responsiveness to the course. That's the thing that really blows my mind with these guys is they'll hit a spot and looks like they're just about to go over. You know, he's going for some style points too.
And he's always got a little more style over the jumps. It's fun to watch him.
Likes his airtime. Ooh, third in the split there.
Let's see what he can do. I think he's the one that might be able to make up that kind of time in the top section, in the technical part.
And getting up there through that gate number 11.
Looking pretty smooth through that.
1-1-0.
Always curious what's he going to do going right down in the bottom of it, I guess. Worked out.
Worked out well.
Race number 902 out of Dillon, Montana on an Articat. She's going to be followed by Tanner.
There you go.
Tanner will
Wow.
up the class.
And good enough for second right there with 56-54. And that is your Pro 700 mod. Aaron Buchelman, Andy Thomas, Toby Shepard, Jonathan Dermis, and Garth Kaufman. Take a look at what happened in 700 stock. Oh, there he is, racer number 303, Luke Rainey out of Thane, Wyoming. Riding Polaris, again, multiple world championship racer here.
That sled looks like it's just off the showroom floor.
Probably is, huh? All right. Luke Rainey gathering up a lot of time down there low. Be interesting to see. He will set the bar for the split in this class.
Going to see if we can get another one in the double digits here. I would not be a bit surprised.
Wow. 1795.
Now, even though this is a 700 class, most of these guys are all just racing a 600.
Riding 600s, yeah.
Over in the blue lane as we get ready with racer number 731 in the blue lane. Semi-pro stock, Ty McKay, Dillon, Montana, riding Polaris. He's going to be followed by
Almost like that tough part's not even there for him.
Yeah, totally missed the trench on that.
10.7
Hopping over in the air and
high mark for DJ Hilliard. 10.7 the high mark for DJ Hilliard. Luke Rainey up.
There you go. He's going to set the bar 58-29.
Les Keller out of Kalispell, Montana.
Another Montana racer, one of your home staters.
Rocky Mountain Rob and
Les Keller out of Kalispell riding Polaris. Other racers walking down the hill, like you said, up there
Yeah.
checking it out, go down, get ready to watch.
blocking our view there. 1741.
Wow.
He's cooking it on the split time. Let's see how the top holds up for him. I know I keep saying this, but he's just a fun one to watch too.
Absolutely. Just really impressive with how he's been doing it. You see a lot of that muscle memory really come into play. You can see the experience and
Going to get a high mark at 12.5, 12.5 high mark for Luke Bledsoe. Up next, racer number 803, Colton
no
Olson.
problem there.
Lamont Alberta.
The depth of some of those trenches that they're jumping every time you see them do what Les just went through. That's actually the course from yesterday that got chewed down pretty good. And those trenches could be anywhere from 6, even some of them. I saw some photographs at racers all the way down. Les Keller up and over with 1:00:42, good enough for second place right now.
You talked about those trenches from yesterday. They dig them down 6, 7 feet deep, and then they turn to ice.
It's like crashing into a wall. As we go with racer number 48, love this guy, Garth Kaufman, out of Alta, Wyoming. A lot of years of experience, not only racing, but working on sleds, all different kinds of snowmobile racing. And
He used to ride for Sled Next, jumping, and then he got into snowcross, and you can see he's on a snowcross sled here. He's one of the few guys that races those, and he knows how to run them and makes them work.
he really can.
He is quick.
Amateur stock.
Second on the split time there.
High mark for racer number 347, Chance Jones out of Smoot, Wyoming, riding Skidoo. Up next in the blue lane, racer number 650, Hunter Hayden out of Missoula, Montana, riding Skidoo. He will be followed by Cameron Conger.
Looking good.
Garth Koppel
He's also
carving his
cousins
way up
with-
the hill. Here's the tricky spot. This is where he got hung up last time.
The Hibberts.
Hibberts, yeah.
And
With
spent a lot
Tucker
of
Hibbert.
time out there.
He was his
Family that-
mechanic for a while.
Absolutely. Family that was very very much a part of establishing Arctic as a brand in hill climbing and several others. So Garth Kaufman, 59.40.
That's what I'm talking about.
And this is how 700 Pro Stock shook out. Luke Rainey, Garth Kaufman, Les Keller, Brandon Tittenser, and Sam Peterson just barely edging in there.
Let me introduce you to the BF Goodrich All-Terrain TA KO2 tire. With technology designed to conquer the harshest terrain on Earth, the KO2 is BF Goodrich's toughest all-terrain tire ever. And now, that Baja-born toughness is ready for you. Whether you're at work or at play, take on your toughest road challenges with confidence. Turn to the experts at Wayland Tire to find the right BF Goodrich tire for whatever you drive.
Wayland Tire. We know tires.
Welcome back. Once again, we are at Lost Trail Powder Mountain with the Rocky Mountain States Hill Climb Association going into 700 improved. And we're going to go ahead and start it off.
With Clint Covert.
I like Clint.
Clint's a good guy.
Idaho Falls, Idaho, riding Arctic. He seems to have really stepped up his game this year. Went into pros last year, I believe.
I believe so. Last couple of years. Last couple of years, because I've been racing against him for a while.
Okay. Yeah, but really got it figured out this year, and he's going to start the split with a 1928. Now we're talking 700 improved, Cody. What exactly is in an improved snowmobile?
Sure. So 700, you can have up to a 700cc motor, and improved, it has to be stock appearing. So they can change out springs on the suspension. They can't change out the suspension components. They can have porting and polishing on the motor, twin pipes. They can't have turbos. They can't have superchargers. They're quite a bit faster than the stockers. Some of the guys still race stock sleds in the improved classes. Some can make it work, but it's definitely an advantage having that extra horsepower.
Okay.
Clint's looking like he got a little high there.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
That's not what we wanted to see for Clint as he works his way up there. But again, that's the trenches, the gravity, that it just is really hard to understand on the camera angle, so he'll help moving in to help out.
And hitting those ice walls up there, I mean, they're hard as concrete.
Unbelievable. So he's going to get a high mark of 12.7 as Andy Thomas looks on and gets ready for his shot at 700 improved.
All clear in the red lane. Getting ready to go with racer number 104. Andy Thomas.
Again, Afton, Wyoming rides Polaris, rides them well.
Followed by Rob Kincaid.
That he does.
Johnson.
And this has kind of been one of his classes, too.
Maneuvering over the jump, no problem.
Getting right back to his style.
Well, I guess if you're going to do it, you just well look good doing it. And
Might as well have some fun while you're going.
seems to be what Andy thinks as he goes up there and is going to punch through right here.
Moving pretty good coming around there.
Got the all clear on the blue lane.
Really making time.
7 chance Jones, Smoot, Wyoming.
Uh-oh.
Oh, still
Oh.
hanging.
Totally
Really
intended.
hanging it out on that corner.
It was one of those scenarios where it almost looks like he was about to be thrown off, and no, it's just a reposition.
He got on the high side there, but you couldn't even tell the way he went through that so smooth.
Wow. He's your new leader with 59.50. And here we go, racer number 103, Rocky Mountain Rob Kincaid, Victor, Idaho, riding Arctic. He has been at this a day or two.
Now he just started riding a short sled this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how the season plays out for him on this new chassis. It's a little bit different style, steering's different setup, laid back a little bit. But Rob's a fun one.
For sure. On and off the snowmobile.
And now his son is racing as well.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got his son Riley is looking really good. And I would be surprised if he doesn't move to the pros very soon. So 18:01 the split time, second fastest on the split. Rob just has a ton of talent.
All right.
He's got that experience on the course, that's for sure.
Jones getting ready to go with racer number 96.
Oh boy,
Oh,
Then the flying
That-
Hawaiian.
was a tough hit there. You just saw that bump come out of nowhere, tossed him, and off he goes.
it looks like Chad Adams jumped in to save the sled.
Sure enough, fellow racer with a high mark of 12.7 for Rob. We'll point out at this point in time too that if for any reason you have to restart your snowmobile, that is your high mark as well, whether Hill Help comes in or not.
So Rob Kincaid.
So a repull causes you to have to start again, and here we go with the young Hunter Johnson, again out of Jackson, Wyoming, riding Skidoo.
He'll be followed by Dolan Phelps and Brock Sharp.
Looking good, catching some pretty good air off the jumps.
So how long have you been announcing for these races?
This will be my 4th full season of announcing the Rocky Mountain States Hillclimb Association, and once upon a time, many years ago, I actually was involved with a pit crew for former world champion Kim Ropoletto.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a lot of fun for me to get involved in this, and the things have changed though. The snowmobiles are completely different, and the setup used to be, if we talked about a mod, it was a Frankenstein looking thing that somebody built in their garage, and Hunter Johnson ran into a little trouble there after that.
Looks like it's right where he crossed the old trench, just
Yeah.
washed out there and landed in the old trench.
Almost looked like he tried to pick a little bit of a different line, maybe get on a higher side, and got tossed off there.
One of those gambles we talked about. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't.
For sure. And he's going to get a high mark of 11.4. And here we go once again. Racer number 169, Dolan Phelps, Fish Haven, Idaho, riding Polaris. He's one of those all or nothing kind of guys. Once again, he just pins it, goes for it. Usually works out for him.
It usually does.
Got the all clear on the red
He owns a
lane. Golden
concrete
Phelps
finishing
is
company,
ready to
so
go out of
he's
58
not afraid of hard work.
Utah.
Absolutely. Or hard surfaces for that fact.
That's true.
All right, here we go, Dolan Phelps. It's kind of interesting. We keep talking about the technical part of the hill really being up in the top where you're not going to be able to get quite as much speed. But as you see the starting line even change in these lower portions, the speed part of the course is starting to get technical. And you've got to watch how you hit some of those bumps at high speeds because that can trip you up. You think it's easy, but we've seen people go flying off, sometimes off the starting line even.
Oh, definitely. And that's where the bottom of this hill is fairly level. And they got a few jumps and a little bit flatter corners. Oh, he's taking a high line there.
Yeah.
That seemed to work out
Wow.
really well.
Holy cow.
Up there, he might have got a little too high, slowing him down a little bit. Has to drop back into that trench. You just can't tell how steep this hill is by looking at this view.
It is amazing. All right, good enough for second place right now for Dolan Phelps, 102.86. And here we go with Brock Sharp again, racer number 706 out of Moxie, Washington, riding Arctic Cat. As you pointed out, shorter, a little more snowcross
And I
type.
think he's got a little bit more of a style for going big on these jumps. Let's see what he
Yes,
does
he
on this
did.
one.
Jump. This kid is catching
Yep.
Wow.
air.
Incredible.
Oh my goodness, that is so cool.
See, the longer sleds can't quite hold up to that,
Here we go in the
and he just sends it. And I think he makes up a lot of time doing that. Look at the split
Did
time.
absolutely,
Fastest
16.71 split. That worked out good.
And he skipped semi-pro. Went straight from junior straight into the pro class.
Yeah, that was really remarkable. Again, comes from a racing family. His dad, Brad, his uncle, Dave. And
Look at that, getting the short tracker right through the trench.
holy cow.
He is definitely going to be one to watch. Already is.
And there you have it. New leader, 58.03 for Brock Sharp. We call him Big Air Brock Sharp at the moment.
Brock Sharp, 0-3.
Going back now to Jonathan Dermis out of Whitewater, Colorado, riding Polaris. Again, doing good, young racer. Kind of getting it all figured out. Got a really good support crew. He's got that look in his eye. Him and Tanner used to, Tanner Myers used to battle it out a lot in the semi-pros. They would always wind up there in the bottom, and
Him and Sam competed a lot in semi-pro, and they were within, thousandth to a hundredth of a second of each other.
They, actually all three of those racers, and it was so fun because they would, anytime that they were so close in there, it was just, they'd watch and then they'd beat by just a little bit, depending on how deep they drew. But yeah, definitely some really competitive racers, and Jonathan just really, for all the miles he has to put in to get to the races, all of the races coming all the way from Colorado to Wyoming and Utah and Montana.
Got
And
hung up there as he's still over the top.
Oh boy, and this is where the hill help moves in. This is
Look at those guys.
the most unique officials of any motorsport or sport for that fact. These guys, hill help volunteer to go up and work on the hill. Jonathan getting a high mark at 12 there, but volunteer to go up and throw their bodies in front of these snowmobiles on steep surfaces to try to keep the parts safe and keep other spectators safe, everything else. So pretty incredible. As we go back now again to Tavern Rupp, good to see him back. Tremont in Utah riding Polaris.
Now you talk about these hill help jumping out there in front of these sleds. All the racers have to wear a tether that kills the motor on the sled as soon as they fall away from it. But that track's still going, and it's got screws in every one of those paddles for these icy hills. And
it's pretty wild at the end of the day to watch those guys come walking off the hill and comparing scratches and bumps and bruises and the occasional concussion.
But they love it.
That they do. All right, looks like we got a good
Nice and smooth.
1938 on the split, so back there a little bit. Coming out of view for a sec. Oh, but coming back with a vengeance.
Sled sounds like it's running pretty good. That's those new starting line twin pipes on those sleds, and they make them work. A little
Impressive.
hung up right there on that
Oh,
corner.
boy.
I don't know what he had going on. A little off balance or just out of his line.
Will put him in the lead at the moment. Getting ready to go.
Looking good up through there.
Dawson Ruffing, Kimberly, Idaho. Riding Skidoo. He'll be followed by
Looks like he's going to finish up with 104.62, good enough for 4th place. As we go with racer number 106, Taylor Seamers out of Evanston, Wyoming, riding Polaris. Now, I believe this is his first race of the season. I don't remember seeing him in Star Valley. So, we'll see how this is going to play out for him.
Now Taylor's been doing this for a while as well, so he's got some experience here on the hill.
Starting to show up right there. Got a split of 18.65. Is it possible that the snow conditions are giving away a little bit on that starting line and slowing them down?
They could. One hard landing and you get a little bit of a hole there, and everybody else starts landing there. That hole just gets bigger and bigger, becomes a bomb hole.
All right, getting through the trench.
Chewing hard through that.
Yeah. Now, when those trenches start to get that deep, are you actually coming in contact with different parts of your snowmobile that kind of create a little more resistance and the track not able to do its job?
102.45. That's going to be good enough for 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they end up bouncing off the walls in those trenches. Those walls are hard as ice, and
Oh,
you
man.
get hung up and high centered on the running boards where you just spin there.
And that, I can see why they get hung up in there. It's not just a nice clean run through the bottom there as we go with Captain America. Once again, Brandon Tittenser. Great guy. Love watching him race.
Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris.
This is one of those holes developing right there that you're talking about where they land and then also they get back into it at that point. And Brandon catching some air there.
So I land a little bit of the side of one of those small trenches there.
On the hill right now.
There's a fast split with 17.55.
I think this could be a pretty good run.
It leaves him just a little bit more time to think about what he's going to do here, but I also think that too much time can cause you to overthink it and not react. And
just like that, he got caught on the high side of that trench and it just pulled him right up.
Unbelievable.
And there he's stuck in it.
Once again, there you see
a hill help guy standing in front of the sled, down in the trench. The sled's up over his head.
just to give you a little bit of an idea how deep it is. And it looks like he's going to call for help and get a high mark of 1:1:35, 11:35 high mark for Brandon Tittenser. And here he is again, racer number 98, Sam Peterson, Wisdom, Montana, riding Polaris.
Let's see if Sam can put it together on this one.
In the hole, Sam Peterson got the all clear for flight, and here he comes.
Been pretty consistently in the double digits up to this point. We're going to see if he can do it again.
I think he's just been having a lot of fun on this course.
Trying to think if I've ever seen him not smiling. Of course, I'm usually not at the bottom after a couple of tumbles I've seen, so usually when he's anywhere close to me, he's smiling.
Only time I haven't is when he's over taking a nap on his sled waiting for a class. Oh, no. Jumps back on. That's going to cost him.
Yeah, if you had to guess, what would you say that was?
I don't know if he lost his throttle. Oh, where is he going up there? He is all over on this course.
Wow.
Look at everybody bailing. They thought they were going to get taken out. Oh,
He went to the outside of that. Yeah,
I don't think this is going to be a good one for Sam.
Yeah.
Garrett. Tom, 121.57.
Still made it up and over, though.
Yeah.
7, your
107.35, good enough for 5th place there. Trying to make the best of a bad situation, but it was a pretty cool recovery. I mean, that would have just thrown most people completely off. Here we go with racer number 315, Ryan Roller, coming from Bozeman, Montana.
So Ryan used to race many years ago, and then got out of it for a while. Just started last 2 races of last year, and gonna do a full season of it this year. I used to ride with him in the mountains over by Big Sky, Montana,
Okay.
long before I started racing snowmobiles.
Yeah, he was a new name on the running order in Afton. But again, just it's kind of interesting with these sport. A lot of people that get into it and they go away for a little while, they wind up coming back and doing it again.
Well, it can be pretty addictive. It's a fun thing to do.
All right, Ryan looking good. Doesn't look like he forgot much.
He hesitated a little bit right before that trench. He's trying to take Sam's line. Drop down in there.
It's not going to be fast, but
Oh, he's chewing hard there.
definitely a different way of seeing if they can start a new line.
Sometimes it takes somebody to do it, and then it makes a nice line for everybody else after.
All right, good enough for 6th place with 1:11.17 for Ryan Roller. That is how your Pro 700 improved class is going to wind up. Brock Sharp out in front, Andy Thomas in second, Taylor Seamers, Dolan Phelps,
And Tavern Rupp.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Welcome back to Lost Trail Powder Mountain Ski Area for the Rocky Mountain States Hillclimb Association. Here are your 1,000 cc class highlights, starting with 1,000 improved. Stepping back up to the plate, racer number 318, Kyle Tapio, Battleground, Washington, riding Articat.
We're going to get the 900 improved stock figured out, getting ready to go. Racer number 318, Kyle Tapio, Battleground, Washington, riding Articat. He's going to be followed by John.
This will be a fun class to watch. These sleds are pretty powerful.
The big boys. Okay, Kyle getting around the corner there. Sun's coming out a little bit, which really can drastically affect the course conditions in a short amount of time when it starts either warming up, softening up.
Well, in multiple ways, because a lot of times a cloud will roll in or snow will start snowing so hard you can't see. You got to wipe your goggles on the turns, and then a few runs later it'll quit snowing. You know, they say in Montana, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes.
We've seen a little bit of that today so far.
Kyle is ripping going up that.
Yeah. It's another one of those classes that these guys shine so much. Kyle, again, multiple.
Well, he just makes that look smooth.
He really does. Wow, setting the bar with 56.54, 56.54.
That's going to be a tough one.
Going to be very tough to beat.
You see Luke right there, warming up his hands on the exhaust. It's sunny, but it's not that warm.
Exactly. Got here before the sun even came up, and it was very cold. So here we go, Polaris racer Luke Rainey, Thane, Wyoming. And see what he can do about that and try to put a Polaris on top. But you say Cal Tapio really set that bar high. It's going to be tough to beat.
Luke might be one of the guys that can do it.
For sure. You see it right there, just how he is able to build up all that speed down low.
He's determined. It's a little bit slower split time there.
All right, here we go with Luke Rainey. Could see a lead change right here. Gotta be
But Luke's one that shines in the technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
to put a Polaris in.
He's one guy you'll watch hanging completely off the sled, wide open, and just scream and come right back into it.
This little, when he goes into this corner right here, that completely jumps off of the sled, lands. I can't imagine with everything moving as much as it is how you guys are able to figure out where to land with your feet. And 54.87, now he is your new leader. Luke Rainey.
He was able to do it.
And Aaron Buchelman at it again, 13X, Caldwell, Idaho, riding Polaris. He is able to sit from the back and pin down a lot of time. Ooh, a lot of air off the first jump there.
Aaron's usually a really clean rider. He knows exactly where he's going to be, has his line figured out in his head, and he almost always nails that. I know this weekend's been a little bit tougher on him, but it hasn't seemed to affect him too much.
The amount of strength that it takes to do this, if one little thing is off or you're lacking, imagine that plays in a lot to what the final outcome is. Just not having the strength or dealing with the pain that the adrenaline sometimes can't overcome. But wow, Aaron Buchelman's charging up there.
I definitely know about that as one of the several racers who's raced injured or recovering from an injury. It makes it tougher.
All right, here we go. Aaron Buchelman, 55.82, good enough for second place.
That was still a solid run.
Very solid. So that wraps up your class. Pro 1000 approved. It was Luke Rainey, Aaron Buchelman, Kyle Tapio, Calvin Ehrman, Jay Menaberry. Now let's see what happened in Pro 1000 stock. Starting off with the one and only Blaine Matthews, Pinedale, Wyoming, riding Skidoo.
Riding Skidoo. He's going to be followed by Riley Sprunger and Jaden Cook.
They are really going for the big air. Well, probably not trying to, but with all that horsepower, biggest class, so to speak.
You can tell, talk about the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't quite see right now.
And good split, though, 17-18. Under 18 seconds really seems to be kind of key in what happens up top, as long as it's a decent run.
He is one you'll see hanging out there too, wide open, track barely touching the ground, and he's hanging off the sled as far as he can.
Definitely a great racer.
I almost wonder how he'd be with the saddle on that sled.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it passed safety. He would probably do it. 52.74, Spanky in the lead now. But here we go with Luke Rainey again. A lot of these racers from the Cowboy State, I'll tell you, they are tough to beat. A lot of great riding country in those areas. Obviously, same with Montana.
Montana, we've been pretty blessed with a lot of snow this year and last year. So definitely able to get out and do some more riding.
For sure. Early and late, oddly enough.
Yeah, we rode into July last year. July 8th was my last ride, and October 8th was my first ride this year.
That is awesome. And split time 17:51, so he's cooking pretty good. Spanky did really set that bar high, but
Okay,
again,
the
just
outside
kind
of
of
the
fuels
blue
these guys'
lane,
fire.
racer number 998,
The higher you set the bar, the more things seem to come together for him, and there's talent kicks in and adrenaline pumps. And Luke just kind of staying right in the bottom of that.
Just nice and
hooks it.
smooth through
Yeah.
there.
Making the final charge. And wow, good enough for second place with 54.90. Fast times coming out of this class.
7-11, Keith Curtis, Dillon, Montana.
And
riding Polaris,
Keith Curtis,
followed by
7-11,
Jay Maneberry and Blaine
out of
Matthews.
Dillon, Montana. Kind of got the
In
Midas
the blue lane,
touch.
racer number
Yeah, I'm betting this is
449,
probably going to be a good run.
Team Bruce
It's
Keith
very rare you
Mountain.
see Keith make many
From
mistakes.
Missoula, Montana, riding Polaris. He'll be followed by Weston Nelson and Daxon Zollinger.
Getting pointed the right direction. It'll be interesting to see on that technical part if he does pick another line. He's just, a lot of times when he does, it's very subtle. Like you almost can't tell that he went a different way unless you can see exactly up close like this where we're at from the bottom of the hill.
That's one of the fun things about sitting up on the hill between classes and watching. Now, he went right up that.
He did.
He went up it quick, too.
Makes the turn. No problem on that wall that's kind of forming up there.
High mark coming in the blue lane at 13.1.
52-22. Keith Curtis does it again.
He smoked it on that one.
5.22.
Amazing. So this is how your 1000 Pro stock shook out. Keith Curtis, Blaine Matthews, Luke Rainey, Tanner Myers, and Andy Thomas.
Did you know you can have North America's most trusted snowmobile voice at your fingertips wherever you go? Digital subscriptions are available from a variety of sources for your tablet or smartphone. It includes 6 issues of American Snowmobiler for just $14.95, or combine it with your print subscription for just another $1 per issue. Visit amsnow.com for more details. And while you're there, don't forget to register as a website user and sign up for our e-newsletter.
Welcome back to Lost Trail Ski Area in Sula, Montana. We are getting ready to go to Open Modified. Going to start off with racer number 411, Jay Meneberry, Alpine, Wyoming. These are the biggest, baddest sleds on the race circuit right here.
These are, and these guys hang it out on this class because it's your last shot for a Mod King run. That's what everybody wants, so it's fun to watch them. Plus the course gets chewed up all through the day, and you can see how brutal that corner is from the beginning of the day. And
absolutely, and Metalberry wasting no time getting up there in true form. Good split time there. A lot of power, a lot of speed.
This is kind of the class they go all out in.
Justin Thomas and fifth is gonna be Aaron
I'll
Buchelman.
say this about Jay Meneberry. I've come to conclude a little bit that the faster he is able to go, the overall better he's able to ride, negotiate, and everything else. Once he gets slowed down, it seems that that's the only time he really gets in trouble, which kind of just happened right there, but he's, yeah, getting up on the
Cutting
side.
over, yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Gonna set the bar high.
Trying to right the wrongs in that one with 58.77 for Jay Menaberry.
Ready to go now with racer number 112.
And Justin Thomas back again, Idaho Falls, Idaho, racer number 112 again.
This is going to be a good one to watch. Him and Keith have been battling now.
And this was the class.
This is
He
it.
was able to hold Keith off on last year, and it was such a brutal battle. So we'll see what happens. Justin really doing good, getting personal with the gate there.
Yeah, he was getting a little close. Now, if they knock one of those gates off, they're high marked right there. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful on that. Look at that, just
And
cutting around that.
I think the fastest split time we've seen all day just happened down there with just barely over 17 seconds. There's the trench. It's kind of sticking with the bottom. Gonna hook that corner.
Stand it up right through that.
Yeah.
110.87 for Gage Peterson.
Incredible run by Justin Thomas, now in the lead with 53.42.
That's going to be a tough one to beat.
And we are off and running right now with racer number 318, Kyle Tapio, Battleground Washington once again. And he is going to take a run at open mod. This guy is just such a force.
Well, that sled is just ripping too. And this is interesting. We got him competing against family here.
Absolutely. A little sibling rivalry.
You got Thomas's raced against each other in a few classes. Tapio's raced against each other.
All right. Kyle pulling through there. I've seen him make some bold decisions on picking a new line when the chips are down. Let's see what he does here.
Looking good here.
New leader in the blue,
And it,
Oh no.
that was just altogether a dead stop. That's
not good. He had a good run going too.
looks like he's re-pulling, so definitely killed the engine, but not pulling it too much. I'm wondering if he's
No, I looked up at the screen.
I don't know.
kind of guy. He might have figured out what's going on, and the more you pull, it might
Yep.
scatter more parts inside there. So
Get the other racers up there and a little bit of hill help him push them off.
absolutely,
Looks like Toby and Tanner helping him get
yeah.
out of there.
Man, you don't see that much a high mark for Kyle Tapio. All right, here we go with racer number 706, Brock Sharp, Moxie Washington on an Articat, the short cat, the
Oh,
flying high cat. Oh,
Yeah.
this is actually a mountain sled, isn't it?
This one is.
Okay, yeah.
And he is jumping right from the junior class right up into one of the toughest classes again. Open mod.
Unbelievable.
One talented rider.
Just flying over the jumps. Got a lot of speed. 1675. That is the
That is
fastest
fast.
split. He's got a full head of steam going. This should be really good.
Taking a little bit higher line there. Got washed out a little bit, but didn't really affect him.
Just charging right up through there. And see what he does here. Just kind of stays right in the bottom.
Right up through
Transition.
there.
The turn really nice without getting too aggressive with it. And just really powering up and over.
Wow.
56.05, second place now for Brock Sharp. And now here we go with Russ Tapio, the sibling rivalry you were talking about. Russ Tapio again out of Battleground, Washington. Good running sled. And again, modified. These are all boosted snowmobiles in some fashion. Some of them have the superchargers, others turbocharged.
And Tapios are running the Boondockers, which a lot of the top racers are running those. So far, 18 seconds for split time.
Very good.
Ooh,
Wow.
see some of the bumps there. I wish we could see down in that trench so you could really see what that looks like in person, because it is extremely intimidating looking into that
I'll bet.
and then come flying in it that fast.
It's not like it's a Nice even surface down in the bottom of there.
No, not at all.
Just never know exactly how you're going to land in it either. It's a big problem.
So they're cutting across that. We had a gate change back there so they could cut across that trench a little bit.
1 minute 81 for Russ Tapio, getting up for 4th place right now. Again, open modified. Max McGinnis,
Up next, race number
Wyoming racer, 336. He is rolls with the Slensics and a lot of those Rock Springs and Wyoming racers from over there. Doing
Talk about
pretty
just
good.
another great group of guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a good head of steam going. 1865 split.
Just barely behind Tapio there. He's going on the higher line, way higher
Oh
line.
boy, yeah.
That one might cost him a little bit.
But like you said too, this is a class. If you're gonna be creative, probably better be here.
10759 for Sean Mahar. 10759 up next, race number 417. DJ Hilliard.
Getting around the corner there.
Polaris, followed by Riley.
Got another little bit of a trench situation developing right here. That it was kind of a wall before, but now it's
Oh.
trenched. Wow.
Can he save that one? Looks like it's still running.
Get on and carry it up and over.
At least get a time, but that's going to cost him right there.
All right, 1:12.89 for 6th place for Max McGinnis, riding Polaris. This is race number 252, Cole Wilford out of Fruita, Colorado. He's riding Polaris, rides them extremely well. He's really amazing, and he's kind of fighting some aches and pains as well himself.
He's been doing this a while. He's also a part of the Climb Backcountry team.
For sure.
Rides with Thunderstruck Films, and he's one fun racer to watch. Heck of a nice guy.
Absolutely.
Let's see where he takes this line. He's going down in the trench. That looked pretty quick.
It did. That might be something the rest of the racers look at. It's hard to get a line ironed out like that. And if there's still some traction down in the bottom, I guess maybe that's the way you're going to go. But we'll see what the rest of the class does.
He's just staying right in the trench and moving pretty good through there.
Going through that spot that Max went a little higher on, and 1:01.00 for 5th place. Man, that's a good run, but you got to be fast, and this guy is fast, like you say. OG of the Slednik and mechanic, racer, got it all going on, and this is a supercharged snowmobile.
This one is. This one runs pretty good. And Garth is fast.
Man, he just knows his stuff, and to see him, you look like if you ran into him in a dark alley that you might get your head tore off or something, but he's such a nice guy. Just got a real cool look to him.
I think he was born on a snowmobile.
I'm pretty sure.
He's going a little bit higher, but he went around that quick.
Riley Kincaid, 10299. Trayson Lutz, headed up the hill, Garden City, Utah, riding Polaris. Amateur mods, be ready. Cameron Conger, Joey Clark, Dylan Hart.
He's going to be down in the trench. Looks like it might have slowed him down a little bit.
That corner.
Transition a little more difficult there to get around it.
Are going to make a single run. Then we'll do our king runs. Then
See what he can make up right here.
the red lane.
59.29, 59.29. 4th place for Garth Kaufman.
George, British Columbia, riding Polaris. He'll be followed by Spanky and Hunter Johnson.
And one of our Canadian racers, number 159, Matt McRae. These guys have been taking a lot back across the border this season.
Matt's another one that just jumped up into the pro classes.
All right, Trayson Lutz getting a high mark of 8.7.
Looking good over those.
Man.
Modified racer number 113.
Third fastest on the split there was 17:11.
Colorado riding Skidoo, going to be followed by Joey Clark and Dylan Hart.
He's going to take the high line as well.
It's hard to tell which line's fastest.
Definitely going to be fun to watch throughout the class, and let's see what he's going to do here. If he's going to try to take,
nope, right up the gut.
Third place going to Sean Mahar.
And then going high here.
Fourth going to Riley Kincaid.
You can see just barely any of his tracks touching the ground.
Yeah, that's holy cow. Didn't come out of there with the momentum that he wanted. 103.22. Going to be put him in the 7th spot for now. And Spanky's back. 230. Pinedale, Wyoming. Riding Skidoo. Really shines in this class.
This is his class.
And I've seen Spanky kind of try to rebuild the course a time or two too. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go down in the bottom of that trench, or if he's just gonna get on the top side of it. But this line coming up, got style points.
I think he's having a little bit of fun on this run.
Yes, he is. Got the power to do it. Question is, does he have the time? He's gonna go a little whoa, quite a bit higher on that one.
Quite a bit, yeah. Let's see if that pays off or not. Going high out of that one. Really fast into that.
Look at that.
That was quick.
That really was. Oh, gets slowed down a little bit right there, but good time going. Wow. Second place at 55.01 for Spanky. Now we're going to go with Hunter Johnson, another Wyoming racer, another Skidoo. Been starting off his pro season pretty good. Wow.
He's getting after it there.
A little bit of an example of the power available.
That first jump, you come into it so fast. About halfway up the jump, you got to lock up the brakes and slide up so you don't go flying off the top too far.
Yeah.
We're going to start us off with a high mark of 12.5 in amateur mod 12.5.
See where he's going to go.
Joey Clark, Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Coming a little high.
That's a trend that people are going to start to follow now.
Now, right there where they're going, it's hard to tell, but it's still on the hillside there, so you're a little off balance going over that.
Makes sense. And Hunter's going to go
right up the center and
try to hook it.
Not bad.
Yeah, coming around the corner, Hunter's looking pretty good. Not quite as fast as he wants to be, but still hanging. First year in the pros, you can't hold too much against him. So 104.69 will put him in the number 10 spot right now.
Just making it today to the finals day qualifying is quite the feat in itself in these classes.
So Pro Open Mod shakes out with Justin Thomas, Blaine Matthews, Brock Sharp, Jay Menneberry, and Garth Kaufman. We'll be back. And we're back with some Pro Master highlights. All these racers over the age of 40. This is the results, how things shook out. Pro Master stock was none other than Dolan Phelps out of Fish Haven, Idaho. He took the stock title with 1:01:30 and also modified title. Dolan Phelps again, first year in Pro Master. He's going to give them a run for their money. But one amazing racer, Trent Handsaker out of Camas, Utah, riding Skidoo. He takes it all home with Pro Master improved.
Now we've got Keith Curtis. Here's a shot at every one of his King runs, a stock run, improved run, and a mod run. We're going to start nicknaming him King Curtis since he got all 3 King runs in Afton, Wyoming, just a couple weeks back, and now he got all 3 here at Lost Trail.
Now we're going to go to the pits with Vice President of RMSHA, Eric Heap, talking to Justin Thomas and Blaine Matthew.
Okay, I'm Eric Heap here at the Lost Trails Hillclimb with Justin Thomas. Justin, tell us about your day.
You know, Eric, I had a lot of ups and downs to my day. I was able to get a win in open mod and make a good King mod run. Got within 2 100ths of Keith Curtis, but unfortunately didn't get the win. But I had a great weekend here at Lost Trail and looking forward to another great year.
Tell us about the top part of the hill. From here, it looks like the trenches got pretty deep.
Well, when you can't even see the snowmobile, when people are in them stuck, and like they're sticking their hand down, you can barely see their hand. That's like the reference. So I mean, they're good, solid 7-8 feet in depth. You know, like I found myself in 1000 improved upside down in one, and I was just like, man, that sucks. And it's kind of like you're kind of rolling the dice with them. It's like you want to pack as much speed through them, but yet don't stab a ski, and you got to wheelie and get in line, and they're just a different dynamic.
Yep, you had a great weekend. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
We're here at Lost Trails Hillclimb with Blaine Matthews. Blaine, tell us how your weekend went.
It went pretty good. You know, I was able to walk away with, I think, 4 seconds. And then in my 5th class, I had a little bit of a bobble. It cost me, so didn't get in there. But we're really close, and just going to work a little harder for the next race. So,
how'd your equipment work on this hill?
Really well. I made some big changes from the first race there in Afton, and I think, myself, I felt a lot better here. I feel confident in my equipment, so I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right. What do you think of the hill? Do you like the lower end with the big whoops or the ruts at the top?
I kind of like it all, to be honest. The whole race itself, you got the massive trenches up there, the jumps down here, there's a little bit of everything, and that's what makes this race so unique. But probably the trenches are my favorite. It just makes it gnarly. It really separates, all the guys up there and tests everybody out. So.
All right. Thanks, Blaine.
Hey, you bet. Thanks.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the 2019 Lost Trail Snowmobile Hillclimb with the Rocky Mountain States Hillclimb Association. Cody, thanks for being here. I've had a lot of fun with you. But what did you think about the race overall?
That was one heck of a race. That was a good show. Definitely. Congratulations, Keith Curtis, Triple Crown, King of Kings there.
Absolutely. And congratulations to all of our winners, and we will see you next time.
Hello, here we have Rocky Mountain Rob Kincaid. I'm just going to hand the mic to him. I'm not going to say anything.
Hey guys, we're here at Lost Trail. This event is one of the coolest ones. Been coming here for about 25 years. Back when I was a kid, I broke both my wrists on one of these big jumps here. And I'll tell you what, if you guys aren't up here watching this event, you're really missing out. It's so cool. And I'm really excited. I'm 46 years old. And my son's racing here with me today. And I kind of got a little bit of spark back. I think I can keep doing it for a few more years, Bart.